Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is a not so sunny day in the Netherlands. Hopefully, it's better in Slovenia, as today our MVP, not our, but the MVP from Companial is joining me. His official title is Strategist, probably on BC, but he will tell more about it and never been to his session, so he will give me some grief about that as well. So, Tina, welcome this morning.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'd love to have you. So, to be honest, Tina and I are trolling each other on LinkedIn currently all the time just to see who outsmarts who, and especially who is using more AI. Now, Tina is using way more AI. But we actually met already 3 years ago during Dynamics Minds. But this year we connected somehow on a companion event in the Nordics when I thought, I know the guy, but absolutely clueless who he is. And during dinner, as we had a conversation, and then it switched on that we saw each other already 3 years in his home country of Slovenia at the beach at Portoros, having a drink probably. You're the only MVP for a companion?
Oh,
No, not there are more.
yeah, we have three now.
Three.
You have to
Oh,
keep up.
I missed the update. Yeah. Oh, shit. Oh, so nobody tells me that. So I will tell my contact person at Companial to tell me more about these things. So, just something. Currently, you moved from Lithuania back to Slovenia, right? You just finished your road trip with some of your friends. So, for me, you're currently living in a mountain. Am I right? Or
Almost, yeah. So right now I'm living in a place which is twice as high as the highest peak of Lithuania, which for them it could be considered mountains. But
yeah.
it's you're Dutch, so for you it's mountains as well. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's the Himalaya that you're living in then. Yeah, it's massive. So what changed? Why do you want to come back from Lithuania, from the tech city, from the tech people, tech bros to Slovenia? Or maybe there are tech bros in Slovenia as well, but it's no fun for the story. So there are no tech bros in Slovenia.
Okay, let me take you like through the story of how all of that started. For me, it was in 2021 during COVID. Everybody was locked in, and I was living in this house along with my parents, along with my brother, along with all of his children, and there was just a lot of people for one place. I started to think to myself, what if I would go out a bit? And that's when I found the recruiter, and we started interviewing all around Europe. I was dead set on going to either Malta or Ireland because of the English language. But then at the very end, she says, "Hey, I've got one more tiny company called One Click Factory. Maybe that's something you'd like to check out." I was like, "Sure, let's go through the interviews. Why not?" And there was the third round interview with my manager's manager. And I remember asking him, in your own words, what do you actually do? And at that point, the sun started shining in Lithuania, which I later realized is not something that happens often. And his poor camera on the PC, it just went wide behind his face. And that's when I thought to myself, like, they're doing God's work. I need to join these people. And then they tell me they're in Lithuania. I was like, nah, not exactly the country I can point to on the map. But I said, okay, 3 years, let's go. Then it turned out into 4 years, but it was a great adventure. But at the same time, I always missed mountains and I always missed having a bit more sun during winter. And one thing that started hitting me after like year 2 or 3 was the language. I love the Slovenian language and it just feels different if I can go to the marketplace and just chat up an old lady to talk about apples or whatever. It feels very cool and I started missing all of that. So I said, I can still work with Companial. I don't really have to be in Lithuania to do that.
No. And so according to my AI, they wanted to ask me how many goats you have, because if you live in a mountain, you have goats as well. Tina, how many goats do you have? And do you talk to them as well during the day? You say, this is my mental escape animal. I need to talk to you.
It's a shame. If we talked about 10 years ago, I would say about 7 or 8. We did used to have goats and sheep. I gave names to all of them. But now, unfortunately, that barn became the house for my brother. So no more mental health animals.
Ah, yeah, they're all been eaten. Yeah, good to
I'm
know.
not going to deny it.
Yeah, so good. There is also a rumor in the channel, and I just want to verify if that's true. That you make your own beer.
I do. Well, I did. I have to start again. Before I relocated to Lithuania, I was brewing my own beer, and I am gonna start that again because I think it's a very easy conversation starter with just about anyone.
Ah, so it's a drinkable beer, or is it only you that likes it, or you give it away?
The first ones were super bad, but my friends drank it anyway, so it's passable. But it got better. It got better. I'll get you one next time you're in Slovenia.
In Slovenia, I will be, of course, at Dynamics Minds next year. There you can have your Dynamics MVP lager, branded and bottled. You don't have to bring it; it's not that far away, and no custom. So I think Dynamics Minds will be a great way. I think we can arrange it with the local team we can serve your beer during one evening.
You know what? I will give it out during my session. So if you miss it again, there's not gonna be any beer for you.
So you already know what your session is going to be about on Dynamics Minds.
I did submit two, the same ones I had at Directions EMEA. I feel very good about these two sessions, so let's see what gets accepted.
Okay, I'm pretty sure they will accept your session. I think it was pretty well. No, I don't know because I was not there, but you told me it went good.
I keep telling you this, you have to see it for yourself. You keep ignoring me.
I will make an effort in 2026. Then I will attend your session somewhere on this planet because I never do. So I always promise him, but I never do. So that's absolutely my fault. So we talked a little bit about your life. That's the last thing about Tina personally. You also told me you're going to do a sabbatical and a tour, New Zealand, Australia, and I think to the Shire because you're a big fan of Lord of the Rings, probably. So what are you going to do in 3 months' time? Except missing me, I understand that.
So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna take the full 3 months down under. The plan is to take the 3 months off just to reconnect with everyone back in Slovenia, family, friends, everyone here. But then for 6 weeks, I am going to New Zealand. Only New Zealand. I decided that Australia is too big, New Zealand's too big. I have to pick one. And then I said to ChatGPT, I like wine, I like hiking, I like Lord of the Rings, and it said New Zealand, like hands down. For 6 weeks, I'm gonna travel the North Island, the South Island, try to get as many hikes, as many Lord of the Rings scenes, and as much wine as I can fit into the 6 weeks.
So you're going back full Lord of the Rings, see the Shire and the volcanoes, and yeah, good. I'm jealous to be honest. It's a shitty long flight. I think I don't even want to know, 26 hours or something to get there, but up 30.
Mine is the whole trip is gonna be 32. It was supposed to be even higher. Like one of the options was 50 hours. I was like, no, that's that sucks.
They died 3 times already. So yeah, and so for you, it's a full pause and reconnect and a reset, I presume, just to close one chapter and reboot to the new one, MS DOS, but then differently. But for you, it's not different, right? The landscape is mountains, mountains, same as in Slovenia. So for you, just a little bit warmer, I presume.
Definitely in February. It's gonna be warmer there.
Oh yeah, is it? Oh. Yeah, they have different. I put some things on my side notes that I never go to your sessions. So yeah, we already discussed that. Uh, but I do give you likes and kudos on everything you post on LinkedIn. So I try to forgive myself for that. But I have some quick fires, as I call them, which I will ask you if it's hype or hope. So hopefully you are a little bit ready for that. AI.
Both? Does that count?
If you explain yourself, then it.
I think it's hype in terms of it's gonna replace everyone across the business, but I do think it's gonna be amazing for developers. It already is. So tech part, awesome. Business part, hype.
Okay. Living in remote tech, like in Lithuania, hype or hope or disaster?
No, good, good. Everyone should go abroad a bit. Yeah. Makes you appreciate things you have back home more.
Cool, cool. Business Central, hype or hope?
Oh, the best ERP ever. Cannot beat it. Nothing comes close.
Sponsored by Microsoft. Thank you. Okay, oh yeah, that's cool. So, what is your favorite event for next year? What are you little, except for of course your trip down under? But what is your favorite event that you're looking out for? That you say, okay, really?
There's always Directions EMEA. This is the event I never want to skip ever because everyone is there. But Dynamics Minds, bringing everyone to Slovenia, that's gonna be something to look forward to. It's gonna be a short trip for me, so that's gonna be better.
Yeah, no, yeah. How short is the trip for you?
Hour and a half if I'm slow.
And for me, from the taxi from Venice to to Portugal.
Which one are you looking forward to the most?
So Dynamics Minds is always special. It's more because it doesn't feel like an obligation. It's you can see the sea, the beach, and you have natural daylight. So that always helps me better with my mood. So from that point, I think there's nothing compared to that because every other event, we're down in a bunker somewhere without any natural daylight. It's tough and it's less in Europe, to be honest. But I do 3 shows next year in US. So Directions North America and Dynamics Con, which is 2 weeks apart, great, and Summit. And somehow they're always, yeah, it's inside. Last time it was Chicago. We were 3 floors down under in the building, -3. So yeah, I felt like a vampire at the end of the day. But my favorite one probably, of course, but I've been doing that for 16 years now. So yeah, it's a long time. I hope we can shovel it up a little bit more, especially. Let's see if we can do something different. They're trying to do different things, but I like Summit in the US because it's a mix between partners and customers. So there is more interaction between them. So I like that. And the size, so it's 7,000 people. And I hope that convergence, if it's in Europe or US, will be the same as it was in back in the day. To be a little bit nostalgic, I loved convergence. I did a couple of them in the US, and I think they did 2 or 3 in Europe. One was in Barcelona. We had 5,000 people in Europe from customers, partners, and Microsoft. So hopefully they will have the same. I like them all, more or less. Dynamics Minds is number one, no worries, before I get murdered by the Slovenian people there. And I also like some of the more local events. So I do join a couple of Companial events, not to promote Companial on this one, but I do go there, mostly to the UK. I have to be honest as well, because for Cosmo, it's one of their primary markets. So I go there. Let's think. And I will do more, but to be honest, I did. I traveled 30 times this year. Yeah, it's a mix between big and small events. So yeah,
Every time I
I hope.
open LinkedIn, you're somewhere else.
Yeah, and always something happens. That is also a little bit of my issue with the traveling, but I do like it. So I do complain about it, and I try not to be sarcastic about it on LinkedIn, but I do. But I do like to travel a lot more. So you are a second year MVP now, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Survived my first renewal.
So I think for a lot of people, they know the term Microsoft Value Professional, but what does it entail for you? How is it different than a strategist without an MVP badge? What do you need to do that
Yeah.
the other people don't need to do?
So to maybe explain for anyone, how do you become an MVP? So one thing is MVP, even though it's called an MVP award, I would reframe it as an MVP recognition, right? You already have to be doing things for the community. And it's, in my opinion, it's important that you do those things because you like writing blogs, because you like creating webinars, because you like doing sessions. And then at some point, Microsoft goes and says, hey, things that you're doing are really cool. Please do more of that. And you get recognized for a year. Now, there's not like you get a salary increase as soon as you're an MVP. What you do get are things like free licenses. I have a free license for Copilot Studio, for GitHub Copilot. I had a free license for LinkedIn Premium, which they recently took away, and I'm still a bit salty about that because I liked LinkedIn Premium. But obviously, like you don't do all of the community work for the licenses. For me personally, I really like it. I put a lot of effort into presentations, and I love when people come to me and they say that now they understand some complex concepts or that this really helped them move forward with the technology. But essentially, after 12 months, you get then by the end of April, you have to submit again everything that you have done in the last 12 months, all of the activities. And then Microsoft again decides, is this good? Is this good enough? And then you get re-awarded for it. But I would just say to anyone, don't try to have the MVP award as your career goal, because the reality is nobody really knows how do you become an MVP, what do you have to do to remain an MVP. It's more do the things you like to do, write a blog, do what you do to share the knowledge, and then perhaps the award comes along, or maybe it doesn't.
Okay, so you say it's more recognition, so you don't expect it, but it's great if it happens. And you still need to do a lot for it, right? Because you do a lot of sessions, you do a lot of speaker slots, so there is something you have to do. Probably also have a sponsor within Microsoft, somebody that carries you a little bit or pushes you a little bit, but
So
you don't have to post name, no worries, no.
if I would maybe expand a bit more, what's the really cool thing about becoming an MVP? Again, not the licenses and all that. The really cool thing for me is, one, whenever you talk to Microsoft, like product managers or engineers, they're much more open about what they're working on because you're under NDA. You cannot share anything that they're working on, which makes it a bit more relaxed for them. But for me, the really cool part is that you get added to this WhatsApp group called BC MVPs. And now that's like a little family or a little group of friends where we're all passionate about the same technology. We're all passionate about the same things. And then you get to comment and complain and just talk about Business Central and tech with all the people who are passionate about the same things. And because they're also speakers at all the conferences, it's like meeting your friends wherever you go, partially also for work, right? So that's the cool part of becoming an MVP, like the community that you get to step into.
Yeah, I know you're a groupie part of some with the MVP ladies, so no worries. I see you guys around. Yeah, I know. I know a lot of MVPs as well. I don't know all of them. I'm not in that secret WhatsApp group because I'm not an MVP. Disclosure. But cool. I didn't know you guys had an MVP group, WhatsApp group. So cool. Okay. So Facebook uses all your data.
They already have all my data from Instagram and all the other platforms.
I still have an account. I only use Facebook now for in the village. There is like a Facebook group. So if a cat goes missing or something like that, I follow that. But everything else, I don't do shit on Facebook anymore. To be honest, the only thing I use Facebook for. Otherwise, it's anything else but Facebook. Can you share a little bit what you're thinking for 2026? The 9 months you have left. Are there things you want to work on, or do you already have a plan, or what is going on in the brain?
So first, for 3 months, I hope I will stop thinking about Business Central for a bit. But once I do start those thoughts again, of course, I want to still participate in as many events as I'll be able to participate in, because that's what I love to do. But more like what I really want to do in the remaining 9 months is get more of our developers on board with the vibe coding, but not really vibe coding, more like AI assisted development. I feel like, especially coming home from the recent Directions EMEA, I don't think we have more than, let's say, a year and a half before this becomes a necessity for everyone, where AI is no longer optional, you have to use it. And right now, I feel super enthusiastic about everything that we can do with it. I will try to put more effort into sharing this enthusiasm internally with the developers I work with. Of course, also with the community, but with the community, come listen in, read what I have to say, or don't. But internally, I want to push it a bit harder so that more people get on board with the topic.
Yeah, so for me, vibe coding is something different than AI assisted coding, but maybe you and me are not on the same page, so that can happen. So what is vibe coding for you?
Yeah. And vibe coding for me is when you ask the AI model to do something and you don't care about the code, you only look at the output. So did the button move? Did the colors change? If the output is what it is, then I'm okay. If it isn't, I'm just going to write another prompt. AI assisted development, on the other hand, I consider as I'm going to ask AI to move a button, add a field, whatever, but I'm going to look at the code. What's happening? I'm going to review the code. And if the code works, then I'm willing to move forward. So that's where I make the distinction. Do you absolutely don't care about the code? Then you're vibe coding. If you are a developer, you still look at code, then AI is just assisting you in doing your job.
Okay, so some like me, I will be vibe coding.
Oh, 100%.
Okay, so I will be the vibe coder, and then somebody with a skill level like yourself can also do AI assisted or not AI assistant coding by himself.
Correct.
Okay, so that is the difference. So do you think that, no, especially for the Dynamics channel, right? And there's a lot of people still doing a lot of coding, manual coding, or in projects on bespoke work. Do you think that there will be more people that do, like the consultant, that will do vibe coding, or do we still need a lot of hardcore developers?
I think it's going to be both. Consultants are going to get upgraded in a sense that adding fields, some simple logic customizations that you do for a single customer, I do think we're going to get to the point where a customer can vibe code that customization. I also think consultants are going to get their superpowers because right now, if you went to a project that you've implemented 3 years ago and then you have no idea where the setting is that you have to enable for the customization that you've done for them, you go to ask a developer, the developer looks into the code and then says, yeah, the setting is here, this is what you have to enable. With AI models, the consultant can just simply say, hey, how do I set up the, I don't know, the payment benefits, something. And AI can already look through the code. You can skip part where you have to go and ask a developer. So consultants are gonna get more powers, but for the developers, I think it's gonna really change because there's still gonna be complex tasks that are gonna take the time, but a lot of the tasks I feel like they can be done in half the time, and eventually customers are gonna realize that. So right now you can benefit from charging the same amount of hours and work on something else. That's why in a year and a half, maybe 2 years, you won't be able to do that anymore, and people will expect the lower price tag for the same amount of effort.
Okay, but that's a quick timeline, eh? A year and a half, because then that is 2027.
Yes, maybe I am being a bit too pessimistic. One of the quotes that one of my colleagues often says is, this Dynamics community is not really dynamic. So it might be more than 2 years. But for the front runners, I already saw a couple of partners on this track at this year's directions. I expect a lot more to follow. But yes, it might not be 2 years, but I'd rather be prepared if it happens in 2 years as compared to
And
later.
will that impact the ISVs?
Sorry?
Will that impact the ISVs that made some special vertical solution?
That's the separation, right? We can use AI for development purposes. This is where I think it impacts everyone, ISVs, integrators, everyone. And then there's the question of infusing AI into your product, where right now you have the payables agent, which is very similar to an ISV that does invoice scanning. There, I think it might be a bit more overlap, but that's the part which I'm more unsure about. How much are these agents gonna be production ready within 2 years? So there, I would give it more time.
Yeah, I think there might be a difference between horizontal solutions and more vertical solutions also from that part. The sales order agent is for me pretty horizontal. And I think everything that they announced until now was pretty horizontal and limited availability as well. A couple of countries, US, UK, Australia, something like that. I think for the sales order agent, it's more or less the same. So let's see how it works in production data in Slovenia. It goes smoothly as predicted, but yeah, and that is a question I have because I've been to the Partner Advisory Council of Microsoft this year as well from an ISV perspective. And the only thing I hear is horizontal automations. Let's put it like that. I don't see any deepening of the core product itself from a vertical point of view or an extension of, that's my view. It doesn't mean that I'm right, but that is my feeling. So they try to automate, to do more agentic AI stuff, but I don't see improvements or extendability from a functionality point of view. If I cut out functionality from AIs, in general. So am I right, or am I totally being weird about this?
You are right to a degree. It's no secret that Microsoft is going headfirst into AI, and there is much more focus into AI compared to anything else. They still are adding things, right? The directions EMEA, we saw the quality management module, we saw the
That has been bought from another vendor.
okay.
If you nobody vibe coded that in Copenhagen. Nobody did anything on nobody did anything on that, but they bought that piece of code. So for me, that is not something that's easy. We buy something. They bought subscriptions. They bought quality control or quality assurance. They probably bought couple of other things as well. So that's why
No,
maybe
if that's your kind of comparison, did engineers in Copenhagen build something? Then I'm with you. The engineers in Copenhagen are building AI for the most part. It's either security or AI. Those are like the top two priorities. Functionality is more on either what the community builds or what they buy from ISVs. I don't think that's going to change for the next years.
2 years.
Like for this part, for the application part, I do not have such bold predictions as to when that would stop.
I love bold prediction. We're already talking for 32 minutes and 24 seconds, and the recording is working this time. So I'm so happy. Anything else you want to share that I didn't touch upon? Because I've been from the mountains to the Shire to beer to MVP release calendar of Microsoft. Did I miss anything?
I think you've touched on everything that's relevant for the upcoming period.
Yeah. For today, any final things you want to say? Not final for this podcast. Final, not Tina final, please.
Oh, yeah, please, let's not do that. No, the one thing I want to close with is if there's one thing that's going to change in 2026 is that Peter is going to come to at least one of my sessions. Apart from that, let's see where life goes, what happens.
Yeah, so I have a feeling that somehow my room number during DynamicsMinds and even drag me out of my room when I'm there. Yeah, okay, yeah. No, for 2026, I have to go to at least one session of Tina. So that is for sure, at least one session. I try to overlap with you, but you don't go to the US yet from Companial point of view. Or are you, Tina?
I might go to Directions North America.
That is in Orlando.
Yes, Orlando might be on the list.
Oh, good. I will be there anyway. I hate Orlando, by the way, but nevertheless, I'm not. It's just no. I'm not. So great that you're going to Directions North America. I'll be there as well. I always try to be a couple of days early just to adjust to the time zone. That's just me. And it's the 27, 28, 29 of April or 30. I don't know. Something like that. So good. Yeah, my promise is I will visit Tina's session somewhere next year. I will also go to the UK Companial event by the end of the year next year. So hopefully you will have a speaker slot there, Tina. If you want me to put in some graces, I will do that.
So you can include me in your recap post.
Yeah, so I can include you in my recap post. Maybe it will be in Southampton again. We will see. But I would like to thank you for this podcast. I know it's our second try. So hopefully the recording. Last time we didn't even talk. It just didn't work. Took me a couple of months to figure it out and get it back on. And you're also super busy. So thank you. Have an amazing journey in New Zealand. And of course, I want to see pictures and videos and anything you want to share. And then talk to you in the next event. It's probably going to be Directions North America then.
Probably. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.